Let's get going with it. The patch notes. Very hype. Oh. Get some hype up in here.
That is true.
Yeah, I definitely think.
Chat is asking about stream volume.
Stream volume. Volume for stream, like the actual high-res stream.
Yeah.
All right, I turned that up now. There you go.
These new pantheons are going to be added. We're going to add gods for them this year. We're not going to pressure
I think
ourselves to add
for me as well, it goes for the XP changes. I'm going to be really excited to see how they're going to do the upscaling of XP, as they talked about that minions are going to gain more XP over the course of a game. So you start with like low XP, and then how they're going to scale that up to make that balance going to be really hyped to see as well, I think.
Oh, that's the skins we
saw. You want it to be exponentially, or?
Yeah, they said that, right? They said they were gonna like yeah.
Hades' underworld theme.
Oh, they didn't necessarily say exponentially, but it scales up a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that it took them, I think, three or four waves, two-man splitting to hit level 2. Which is quite a lot. It's a fair difference from before.
Is a lot.
Oh, let's just look at pause that for a second.
Yeah, so as you can see,
oh wow, that's actually sick.
And we have some new features.
Wait, have you not seen the new map yet?
Yeah, well, I played on it, but
first of all,
the fountain is enormous.
Yeah,
Are you serious, dude?
it's so deep.
Yeah. Walls on the inner side.
I said that as soon as I saw the map, but that was too big.
The fountain or the starting area?
The fountain area, yeah, the entire thing is too big.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I do agree personally.
Ending one side to the other is going to be hard.
Yeah.
Is it just me?
Yeah.
Or is the chokehold for the Phoenix Siege a bit smaller in the mid lane?
Yeah.
It feels like just standing there is going to be so awkward.
And you can't rotate between the mid and side phoenixes without taking damage from the mid phoenix now as well, unless you jump.
Yeah, it looks like sieging in general is going to be a lot harder. You could also see there was a path in between the two phoenixes, like in that little space between the phoenixes. There's like a little tunnel or something you could go through to get to the fountain.
Closer to your base. This is to make
that looks pretty good though with the new what is that?
Centaurs?
Centaurs? Looks like Chiron.
And we really want
yeah, Chiron's a centaur.
That's
a mini horse.
Oh, look at
somebody's gonna make a YouTube video out of that, killing the middle centaur, just standing there, seeing if the enemies see him or not.
Oh my god.
Speed buff spawn first, and then
yes, please.
Clash, and then the rest.
Get on that. You should have said that out loud, Duke. You should have gone back yourself.
Yeah. Look at how extremely huge the map is right now. Oh, like the actual minimap.
That's a thick map.
That's so fat. It looks really good though.
I like what Kliz is saying in chat. He's spamming, please make blue not ranged, and I do agree, please do not make it ranged. That is a pain in the ass.
It's not ranged anymore, I'm pretty sure, because the spoilers for it was melee.
Okay.
I can't remember when I played them, but I'm pretty sure it was melee.
We did, yeah. So when we
I had that too, to be fair.
It's just confusing to newer players as well, I guess, with it being ranged, because like, it's just it plays completely differently than other camps.
Is it still gonna be doing magical damage then?
Pretty quick.
That's actually one of the better questions, right?
I mean, it doesn't really matter, does it?
They don't need to remove magical sources of damage from the map. Is one thing
absolutely. Yeah, I think they should add. Well, Phoenixes should shoot magical projectiles, right? A Phoenix is not a physical. That's one problem I've always had. I do hope that they kind of nerf the health on towers of Phoenixes or add some tower pushing item to ADCs. Otherwise, it looks like it's going to be insanely hard to siege, and you actually need a really big advantage.
Look at the size of the dual lane compared. Look at the creep wave there.
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
Look at middle, just like the bit where it bends, and it's massive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wow, that's actually crazy.
It's really fat.
Wait, why?
Rip Sanders Ho Yi mid, dude. He ain't bouncing anybody.
Actually, you're saying that now. You just wait until you see the jungle and like the small pass between the Fire Giant and Gold Fury area. It gets really cozy in there.
Okay.
But it's not like directly parallel lines where it's easy to just like aim at the wall and you're guaranteed triple bounce.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure there's going to be some nutty spots.
Looks like they're going to be physical though. The blue buff here, with them holding spears.
How fat is this wall? So can you anti jump over this wall, for example?
That's actually interesting.
It doesn't look like it. I think that's a tiny bit too thick.
I would say on the side, on the right side next to that fountain, that looks thinner, but...
So one thing I realized when I played this map at the HRX, we only got to play 10 minutes, but jungle camps died extremely easily, but minion waves in general seemed tankier. Like I was playing Raging and I almost one-shot the speed buff at level 2 without the Boomba's mask. So that seemed kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think what they did was they lowered the damage on creeps and made them more tanky.
Yeah, again,
that's going to be really awkward if they've upped the movement speed of creeps though, because that means they'll outrun players.
Yeah, that's true.
Or they'll be too even with players. Like you need to have players' base movement be above creeps' base movement.
Yeah, I think it should be the same in the mid lane, because there was no vertical stretch, only like a horizontal one. But side lanes will get affected, I'm sure. I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I find interesting? They said they kind of changed the map style so abilities are clearer to see and all that, but in some parts the map looks pretty chaotic right now at this rift and stuff. There's so much going on already without any abilities.
Yeah, imagine like an Artemis trap or something on the rift, you know? It's just shining, like right where Pond's walking over now. How are you gonna see that?
Yeah, that branch, but if you put the trap on there, no one's gonna see it.
Yeah, that's actually true. And look at how squishy the actual minion seems. It's 18 minutes in and he was like almost half killing that with no items. Yeah, the fog seems to be very like, you can definitely get some good old ambushes in. I think warding is definitely gonna become a lot more important now. Do you think, would you guys like to see any changes to wards in general, or you think they're okay with how they are right now?
They might possibly need like an extra ward placeable to the size of the map, but I don't think they're going to do that because they just talked about how on that right hand side where he just was, there's the two rocks. They're there so that you can't see from all directions where the jungler's coming from to the lane to gank it.
If you look at the map, you should.
So the left side and the right
side. Like if you look at solo, if you had a ward top side of the fire giant wall there, and you had a ward top side of the Coral Demon wall, you're not really getting ganked, right?
So between left and right,
yeah.
You'll have differences.
So
yeah, that's definitely like still very easy ward spots.
Yeah. Like and you can walk there without being in any danger whatsoever. So I don't think.
Yeah, I guess if they were to add more wards as well, that would just make jungling less viable, if that makes sense, because you kind of have to rotate around all around, and you're gonna be spotted all the time. So what are you guys hope for Reds right now? We saw the like nerfs to Aegis in the data mining. It doesn't seem like they are changing the way they're working. It seems like you're still gonna get one at level 1 and level 12. Were you guys hoping for something different?
I would personally like to see them swap it up with some of the relics that don't see play right now. Maybe, I don't know, like Sunder or something, just give it something different. Make it like a bit more viable in play. Because that's like one of the actors that's either being completely busted or not.
I think the fog's 120 units maybe?
It looks like it might be just,
yeah.
To me that looks like 75.
I
don't think that's 120. I would say 100 max.
What autos again? Am I tripping?
55 autos.
Yeah, I thought autos are 55. That
looks like
you can still see
2 autos-ish.
That looks like 100.
That was 2 autos. Yeah, that's 2 autos.
Yeah, it might be 120.
So if you look at that, like that's got to be 2 autos.
Yeah, this might be 120 actually. 110 would make sense, right?
Yeah, 110 I guess would be 100 would be a nice round number.
Yeah,
for them to have gone to.
But that's
I don't
also
think you see the health bar that long actually.
No.
Like. It shows very long.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Doesn't really matter if you don't see the model as long as you see the health bar. That's the most important part.
Yeah, that's what I was judging it from, where you stopped seeing the health bar, so where you had no
I know you're right. It's much. Wow, it's actually even further than that. I think. You can still. Or is it just because it's an Odin bot or something? It's just a glitch.
No, I think it is pretty far. So they said that you could see stuff that was above the fog, but I don't know if they said that you could see down into the fog from above. So for instance, a Thor ulting in the air, despite being outside of the fog range, you will be able to see them. But
yeah, you should be able
I'm not sure if it's vice versa. I'm not sure if the Thor is in the air, he can see people on the ground.
He should, because otherwise
be able to, right?
It just ruins the character.
Yeah.
Thor, Rama, Thanatos, anything really.
That's a good point. I guess Thanatos is actually gonna be pretty strong in this meta, like chasing down people, which is passive. You're gonna be able to see them through the fog. In general.
Yeah. Percent pen is being added to the existing pen on the purple buffer.
Also, speed buff's gone from 20 to 15% speed.
Yeah, I knew that one, but
we also know that all the buff timers seem to be down to 2 minutes, and the buff timers seem to be the same they might have changed that since we played at HRX, but it seemed like you could just kind of be there every second minute. Yeah, you'd have it permanently, right?
From the roots.
And
That's dumb.
I feel like then they should shorten the time that you own the lock.
90 seconds or something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh wow,
So
they look sick, the oracles. Holy.
They have a really good, cool like spawn animation as well when they spawn in like 0 or like not 0. What was it? I don't even know anymore.
What's she doing with her hand?
A lot more creepy, demonic.
Okay,
We're basing it actually off the Greek Furies characters, which are actual characters, and they're known to be part.
Oh, her movement is creepy.
That mask just keeps reminding me of the people from Game of Thrones in Marine. Like the bad boys with the masks on. Scary.
Spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not the faceless man. It's the
No, not the faceless man.
No, they called the harpies. They're literally called the harpies.
the harpies. So they are, yeah.
As far as balance changes
The harpies
go,
of the something,
we
right?
did do some slight tweaks to the Gold Fury stats and to the gold earned over time scaling. The big feature in the whole
Kaylee
Season
says
5 map
Dragon
is that everything
Tails.
on the map
I don't know
is
if
gonna
that's what
scale
you
over
were
time.
thinking of, Nels.
So lane
might be
minions
true.
are going to be worth more in experience.
He's a 2000
and gold
challenge as
over
well,
time.
right? So that
Jungle
makes
camps
sense.
What's
will be worth
the
more
Danish
gold
name for that
experience
show
over
then?
time.
I'm
This
not
gives us a
sure,
lot
man.
more, fine-tuning
Oh,
to do
that's
as
an
far as the
interesting question. Will the
balance, pacing,
purple
and
color
skill
affect
factor.
blind mode?
So what that
I don't
allows us to
know.
do is kind of slow
Ooh,
down
that's
the
gonna
early game a
be-
little bit, and then ramp
gonna be
up
weird.
in the mid and late game so that everything becomes a lot more important.
Probably not.
It's working out.
What were
really
those
well.
like
That's what it
glyphs
is.
at the side of the Gold Fury pit?
The Gold Fury
That was
was kind
kinda
of
neat.
always known as
Yeah,
the
look
objective
really
that
sick.
scales.
I'm
and now
actually
you can
curious
appeal
if
to everyone.
FPS is going to be a bigger or lesser problem, because you don't have the big fog or like all in the air, but you can like the render distance or whatever seems to be super far. Like right now you can see the order and
we wanted to capture that.
the
I mean,
chaos
that's just
space.
the backdrop. That's not really the render distance. It's just the background, which is static, so it's not really rendered the same way.
Simon says Sons of the Harpy is what they were called.
Sons of the Harpy.
That's the one.
Oh, so they have the same mask. That makes perfect
And
sense.
that statue in the back is kind of
It's actually
the
really
idea
sick.
that someone maybe worshipped.
And there's some runes in there as well, so I guess they added a bit noise. But this map is mainly Greek, right?
Yes, supposed to be at least.
Yeah. Gold Fury and behind it for the oracles, we have these actual.
I just can't wait. Look at the orc. That's so sick, man.
What the hell?
I'm not a fan of the stairwell.
Screen was really
It's one
quite
of the few
creepy.
spaces that we have, like a space that goes down.
Dimi's just thinking about how you can get impaled into that stairwell as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking
that's
as well.
true,
Like,
actually.
So it's still the same sort of
not
thing
not
as
like
the Oracles
graphical
usually
You kill
abuse,
both
is
of
it?
them, you get
Yeah,
visual
I'm not
audio,
really a big
it'll
fan
move
of
the ward towards the
graphical
center of the
elements in a
area so you
map
can
that
see the
aren't
whole
that are
area when you
misleading.
kill them.
You can put a fence on it,
Has to secure
but
both to
yeah.
get the bonus.
then
You
again,
can't
it
split
might
them,
just
and
be
then
fine
people get the
because
ward.
people will
And,
never be there. I don't know.
Radius
They've
now.
got their own radius, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, putting them in the same radius we
wow.
thought was kind of interesting, and it had some
Oh,
thematic
no,
things
they're
with them
tanky,
hanging
dude.
out with the Gold Fury, but
Yeah, well,
it was
I
kind
guess
of
they were
confusing
already
having
kinda
two
tanky.
That,
30
it's
minutes
30
in.
minutes in
other,
as well,
and,
right?
we really wanted
Nah,
to fix
they're
that,
OP,
so when
dude.
we widened the jungle, we had a little more space.
Of
we just
55
moved them over
gold?
here across the,
Around
Wait,
39
the
XP.
interesting thing is they said originally it was said that the oracles are not gonna cover the Gold Fury anymore, but
Well,
clearly they
we're
are.
on to the next bit then, which is to
Yeah.
look at
Oh,
the
it's a different range. More or
Yeah, but
less.
it's directly on the Gold Fury, so it's
Oh, yeah,
not
we got a
like
lot
they
of
don't
cool
cover the
stuff
Gold
like
Fury.
So both,
Yeah,
both sides
I guess
of
no,
the-
it's the issue having two circles overlap each other
They're more
because they have a different
different
range.
Yeah.
The oracles, so they I guess they
So
wanted
you
to
could
have.
aggro, you could aggro the gold.
It's a
try
lot
to pull
easier
gold.
to see if you're
That's
aggroed.
only going to
That's
turn
good.
on when a god is being targeted.
Okay.
So when a bunch of minions are here, they will walk in and fight the tower and stuff like that. See if Pawn can remember the
Nice job,
commands.
Pawn.
He's spawning old minions, which we talked about before. He's like, what are they called now? It's okay, Pawn. You're still the best.
That's
Oh,
actually
you see
sick.
that the floor didn't light up. Now you've got the
What jump
another-
stamp does he have on?
laser radius to tell
Crossfire,
you where
or
you're
whatever
as
it's
well
called.
as you'll be able to see your team. Will be able to see when someone's being targeted as well.
First thing, let's look at Dragon to me. Is that
I don't think you can
both
get
the
that
same, or
anymore,
is
right?
one different to the
Not
other
anymore,
one
no.
versus Chaos?
No,
Shame.
they're very different.
Alright,
That was one of
okay.
the things that we
That's
set up from
fucking
the very
OP.
beginning, that we wanted to make the towers
Power killer.
extremely
90.
different.
Wait,
and
you-
also thematic.
King Wei
You don't know this?
So these were
1,906
both
damage to
concept
towers.
by Ramon Garcia, and
Have you
that
never seen
we
Tower Killer
wanted to have
before?
different,
No, I have.
So like this
Oh.
one.
Yeah, it's been
Chaos
like
one has
always
a
in
Let's
the
look at the
gold.
health.
The
Okay,
other
health
one
stays
has
the
a
same,
griffin.
it looks, on
And
towers.
this one's more, and also they have
2,500
different
still in tier 2.
color choices. So this is mostly,
Yeah.
you know, the gray rock with the silver dragon.
Damage
on top,
seems-
and the
This
other
is
one
this looks
not
like an
so
AoE
special.
basic
is like-
attack.
Is gold and
Yeah,
marble.
well, it probably isn't, but it kind of looks like it.
The towers are quite
ball
different
or
from each
whatever.
other.
Ah!
The whole theme of the map, the different sides are more.
Looks a lot better now with the skipping animation of Ringway. I like it.
previously you're in part of the Chaos side jungle.
Wait, that dragon looks so happy. What is it? This is like an eagle or something.
Griffin, isn't it?
Griffin.
They look so happy.
Gold and blue trim here with the nice
one doesn't.
griffin up on top.
Oh.
And it's the only thing that you see in any part of the jungle that's
oh man, even
stuff.
with
That's the tie-in with the Olympus base.
Yeah. Oh, the map's so big.
Just to, you know,
absolutely. Oh, that's wow. It's gonna take like a solid 60 seconds at least to run through.
Like you said, it's just mostly
moly.
just darker.
3k health on Phoenixes.
We go as well.
Yep.
Phoenix is a Phoenix.
Yeah, they're new.
What's that ground effect? Is that just saying that it's targeting, or?
Yeah,
it gave them a little bit more of a traditional Phoenix style. The last year's conquests.
Oh, you mean the purple thing coming out? Yeah,
style, but a lot of people didn't think they looked as much
like pulses.
Is it like client side, or does everyone on your team see it when it's pulsing?
No, that's the question, right? Is it just the one who gets targeted, or?
I think the whole team should be able to see it, right?
Oh, look at that line. It goes over. Oh, that's dope.
Oh,
that's cool.
Closes up.
So now it unfreezes the Titan.
Keep going.
I freezes the barracks or whatever.
We saw a fuse go to the
Use my. Actually, no, that doesn't make sense. No. Wait, why does it do that?
I think it's saying it's reducing the
Titan is frozen like at the start. It's like in an ice block, and then once you kill a Phoenix, you can attack it. So
now it comes together.
Oh wow. And you start shooting the Titan, you're like.
Okay, so it seems that the Titan is still losing the same amount of health as last season as well. 1500 from Phoenixes. Doesn't affect the Titan. Oh no.
Right now, so we might as well look around to see how. So the Chaos base, I don't know, so Titan. The Chaos base, we should have a little look around.
Oh, the base is so big now. It's actually crazy.
Yeah, so we basically wanted to have a. It's
you could play arena in the base, literally.
Yeah.
Basically, the idea is that Tartarus is not just.
It's like half an arena map, not even trolling.
Constructed space. And
little animation for that now.
Whoa. We wanted to make sure that
that's really sick, actually.
You know that.
Does that work for healing as well? I wonder.
And we want to have it very.
Maybe.
I wonder if they fixed fountain ticks.
Very aggressive looking, but not.
Oh, so they're like.
Which is what I think the current.
More clear, or.
Yeah, well, sometimes fountain, like sometimes the fountain, you feel like it definitely should have ticked, and it doesn't.
Yeah,
other times
it feels like it's inconsistent.
And we have the really cool like giant Hades' kingdom in the background, which looks awesome. And I love
the other thing that would be nice is making leaps not cost you mana. In the fountain or something.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
You know how God's
I mean,
like
some of them work like that.
Yeah, but any that can be cancelled, like Anhur, Uller, Fenrir, take mana on landing, because otherwise
like bad guy who led the Titans in a war against the gods and was locked away in the underworld. So what happens when the underworld comes up to the surface? He gets released. Yeah,
of course. Team, I guess.
So he's a big scary guy.
We've got two things quickly still to show you in this map: Pyromancer and the Fire Giant. We haven't covered.
I think this is the first time in a long while that they're actually showing so many dev commands in one session.
Pawn must have been studying.
Yeah.
He's got it. He's got the hacks.
Whoa. He put an eye in it.
There.
Yeah.
I think he broke it again.
Rip.
Chop, chop. There we go.
Whoa.
I want to see that buff. I want to see how fast you actually are with that buff.
New buff.
Yes.
New
so
objective.
This replaces the portal.
That looks like a chippy skin.
Design changes here. So we have
I guess not really.
It's Gold Fury recolored.
But we wanted to give it a little bit more.
That's actually true.
Fine tune. So instead of when you kill this, instead of getting a portal, you will not get a portal. Instead, you will get a buff that translates back to your base. You'll see a fireball fly across the map and go to your base.
Oh, wow.
And what that does is it'll buff your base to
all of the animations.
Anyone leaves the base, you will get a movement speed buff.
Oh, so kind of like old Swiftwing.
Yeah, so kind of like you give your whole team Swiftwing buff. And what's cool about that is we can give the players
it's decently fast, considering it's not even with boots.
So
that's quite a bit.
You don't have to go right back to
that's quite a lot of
15 seconds, right?
To other parts of the map. You can use it to defend your towers.
If you're dead and
with boots, you could pretty much get to like middle of mid lane.
It triggers when you walk out of the base.
Cool.
So the buff,
yeah,
you can come back.
I don't know how much the gold they gave
and it
us
also gives the designers gives us a little bit more things to work with throughout the year. So if we think the buff is too strong, it's too weak.
I don't even know the current amount.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's 500, isn't it?
We had one number. Now we have a lot more.
Christian, obviously on design of this, I guess you got a bit more free reign of like we're putting a buff.
I haven't seen the new Fire Giant fighting patterns yet.
Yeah, I mean, well, just
I guess he's just gonna two-shot
it. Area in general.
It's much better now than the old one, I think.
Battleground of the gods.
I've heard that he does like a circle around the entire area, so he kind of locks people in. Is that true?
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of useless, honestly, unless you specifically want to run out in that moment. And it actually zones off the enemy team. But the cool part is the multi-fireball in between, which keeps you from soloing it, because if you have multiple people attacking it, then the fireballs get split, and if you don't, you just get all the fireballs in your face.
the dragons.
And you can't juke it or anything. You just get auto aimed.
With the pyromancer and stuff, I don't know if you can tell what's in there in the back.
I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that. I guess they need to force difficulty on the player somehow, because you can pretty much dodge anything you want.
Freebie.
He's melted.
Yeah, but the idea is like, you know, maybe the pyromancer took out.
It's crazy how big the area around the Fina is now, but at the same time there's actually stones. Well, I guess that was that before as well, right?
Hell and Fenrir,
like,
got this whole thing started. They're ending
but
the
looks,
world.
it's so much
people are dying. That's a
bigger
global
now,
event.
like the actual inside of it.
That global event is what's killing a lot of mortals. That's what's powering up Hades to bring up his underworld.
There's definitely going to be some huge team fights going on here. You can see that.
Parts of Ragnarok happening
people
everywhere.
standing behind the walls,
a Norse character on the Greek map.
No, really. Team fights at Fire Giant.
From Ragnarok, he crash lands
actually
Greece, and he's here to
I feel like
no, that will never happen, right?
At
least Emir is going to be way less scary in this area now, I think.
Yes.
His old
Would an Emir
hard to dodge rift?
We can see it in the playtest.
I want to see
but then
the
he also
fireballs.
has a new attack where he summons a bunch of orbs in the air, and then they fire, and what they do is they split up.
I feel like they might as well increase the size of AoE abilities, given how large the areas are.
Team is there. You're good.
Goddamn.
Oh, this is how he spawns in this big fireball that comes down.
Oh, really? He just flies in that
Wait, what is this?
This is
Fire Giant spawns at 10 minutes.
Like that, and then
Does he have double FG there now?
Oh, he was on the shield spawn.
You can look across and see this star slowly come down.
Is he going to try and attack that and get double FG to
attack where
use his
he lights his whole leash radius on fire, and if you try to cross in or out of it, you're gonna take you're gonna have a damage over time applied to you.
It looks like FG
so yeah, the lore impact is really
health
the most
every
important
minute.
thing here. And then of course we have
I don't know if that's more or less.
All in all,
it looks like FG's less tanky now.
Any final thoughts before we
it was so tanky usually around this time.
I mean, I think we covered everything. We're gonna,
450.
we're going today. We're trying to go a little quicker, a little more general instead of reading every number. There is a lot of number changes in this map, an absolutely staggering amount.
To make you guys clear as well,
there are 2 FGs.
Oh no, he knows already.
I am not manually reading through every single number change from experience.
You can't even process it.
Not enough pages.
But they all will be released after the patch.
Oh right, we were supposed to get like an evolved Fire Giant. What happened to that?
Number should be higher, lower, or exactly where it is. Right?
I would really encourage everybody because of the new scaling to
can't answer that. No idea.
There's a lot of things. It's much harder to just calculate things in your head.
That doesn't give like the little animation back towards the Titan, I guess, if it's just the Titan.
I don't think so.
The character teams did an amazing job.
It should.
And the other thing
I feel like it would have a better sense of like progression for the players.
And through those kind of changes to balance of golden XP and how they earn over time, and making a couple tweaks across the map, jungle camp speed. We also made an adjustment to minion behavior. They're going to focus towers now instead of enemy minions when they're in the same area. A couple changes like that to help the map feel more like things are happening over time.
That means you're going to get less fucked on the waves now. Like
before,
right? The minions will just, if you're getting zoned really hard, and your minions will just damage the other minions. Now they're just going to hit the tower.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
You've seen this video before, but take a quick look.
Wait, what was the change?
Minions now targets towers rather than minions, enemy minions, if inside a tower Phoenix range.
Oh, that's really good.
I mean, it also kind of messes you over when you're trying to desperately hold on to Phoenix and your wave just spawns.
Yeah.
And sometimes it survives because they change aggro. But.
Yeah. I don't mind Phoenixes and tier 2s being made easier to take, though.
Yes.
The most recent patch. In competitive, it's not so bad, but I think outside of competitive, sieging is a mess.
That looks like the Dementor from Harry Potter.
Yeah, I was asking if that's on the map, but apparently it's just for the intro thing.
Yeah. That'd be sick. What are your general thoughts now? I'm gonna ask one more. Dimi.
Well, I'm glad that we can play World of Warcraft finally.
Very happy with the art style. Not a big fan of the empty spaces and awkward walls. And personally think the Order side is looking a lot better than the Dark side, mainly because it's just like a more happy feeling to it. But overall, I like it.
By the illustrious Pompan, how you doing?
Doing pretty good.
You ready for this?
To see if there's gonna be any Hayzer.
Cool. Well,
thoughts on that side? You like it?
Our style's cool. Bases are way too big still for me, I think, is my biggest issue with it thus far. I don't mind the jungle and stuff, we'll see how it plays. But I think, I'm not looking... I guess we'll see how sieges play in the end game, but I'm not looking forward to playing with those bases. Just walking out of the bases every time is going to be so dry. It's too big.
Do you reckon the bigger bases will like favor sieging the Titan, or actually the defending team?
We're also
I'm
going to
kind
change
of
the order a little bit. We're going to go in
I would say probably sieging, because number one, there's a bigger distance between your Phoenix and your Fountain. So when teams are sieging with FG or whatever, it's harder for you to sustain up and get back before they've taken a tower or killed your teammates. And number two, there's very little chance of catching a lot of them with a big
we're getting to the
first right now. Yeah, let's go.
What a blessing!
So all
blessings
starter
are a
items
new
are
type of
removed.
starter item that focus more on class role specific goals.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
they have mostly they work like starter items, but they have some slight new rules involved in them. So you'll only be able to buy one blessing per match. You can't buy multiple. Once you buy it, you're locked into that one for the whole match. They're also going to all have some sort of stacking component that's going to involve and get you better seals later in the game.
Oh, so kind of like Lono's mixed with Lono's Rangdars, but mixed with a star item like a Death.
Yeah, so where Lono's kind of encourage support players to be around and get assists to get a huge boost to gold, and kind of like showed them how to play the support a bit. Okay. These items are kind of tuned to do that.
All right. Well, I guess the best way to really do this, they're going to evolve over time too. We should probably just start off with going through
evolve over time, like all of them.
Let's look at one.
Like
so
the mask. That's actually pretty sick.
The first one on here.
Wow, that's
I guess
huge.
It's aimed towards assassins, but it's not forced onto every single. You know, just because it says assassin doesn't mean you can only pick it if you.
No sustain.
Exactly. So what we're doing with blessings, first of all, is there's going to be conquest ones and non-conquest ones. Right. So 5 of them will be unique to conquest. They'll only be available on conquest. Every other game mode will have the other.
Oh no, I don't like that.
Gotcha.
That's confusing again. That doesn't encourage people to switch between modes.
Assassin's Blessing. We use the terminology with the classes to kind of think about
they
what
have a little golden YouTube play button in the background there.
Assassin, I can probably get this one.
Smite game with 1 million. Is that 1 million?
Through the map but it's also kind of think of it in kind of a flavor sense. Like so you can buy any blessing on any
How much is it? It's 15% of your damage right now on Doomers.
Assassin kind of gave you
and this is flat 35.
Their stats, their blessing. Here's something that I know.
Isn't it plus 10 per auto as well, or
15?
Right? Any guy can buy any blessing in any combination.
At the bottom, you can see it says gains 35% damage versus bonus damage versus jungle monsters. How much are blessings, first of all?
Does that include objectives like gold, fire?
700 gold. Is there any particular reason we went 700? Or?
I think it's jungle monsters, jungle bosses.
If you made them a bit too cheap, it gave people.
Jungle monsters. If they wanted it to just be camps, they would have said jungle camps or jungle buffs, I guess.
No, but it's correct. Jungle monsters versus jungle bosses is the terminology.
Ah, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Could be even really.
Kind of OP having Merc. 35% bonus versus fire giant just walks in.
Solo.
700 gold per blessing, we heard as well?
Yeah.
Okay, and there's obvious changes as well to some of the other stuff that's starting off.
So that I...
Oh, it's more than that. It's also a sustain on top of that.
35% bonus.
That's when it evolves, is it? Or is that just by default?
7% health restored on killing a jungle.
Oh, it's still Assassin's Blessing, I would assume it's the same thing.
Yeah,
7% health.
That's crazy, right?
Wait.
Every blessing will have a role quest.
No.
New subtitle to support that role. So role quest.
Wow, that's too much, right?
And you'll have to kill jungle camps to gain stacks.
I think it's fine.
Power up your blessing.
7% health for each. Surely jungle monster means all of the creeps in the camp. Then, yeah.
So they're doing assassins at a base quest.
Pretty much. And it also works either if you're a heavy ganking jungler, you can actually get ganks and get stacks, or if you're just a heavy kind of farm jungler, you want to clear camps and go towards the mid-late game, you can just farm your camps and get your stacks.
So work both ways. Now this one feels very jungle focused because it's jungle monsters.
So what? That's like 35%.
And that's what a lot of these are. They are going to be very focused to kind of like a role.
Well, what do you feel about this? Let's get Duke. What do you think about this whole evolving thing with class-specific quests?
We might see people picking up.
I like the evolving thing. I'm not quite sure like how these blessings are implemented. If they work like a normal starter and take like a slot.
They do.
Okay, if they do that,
lock yourself in, and if you go for the Assassin's Blessing, you're going to be forgoing the Mage's Blessing.
I think in that case it would be like I see where this evolving thing is coming from.
Which one you go, but also more flexibility.
It's very clearly League of Legends, and they have the same thing, but over there it's in a way where the evolving items have like are so good that they have like actual late game viability. And I mean, you're not gonna keep an item just for 10 pen.
Yeah.
So I like the idea, but I'm not sure how fully executed it is yet, or if there's like further stages or whatever's planned for that.
I'm pretty sure it's the way it works with the slots. Is I'm guessing it's just going to be like a sorry, not like a relic, like a starter item. So it's going to be at the start of your build, because it's just like it's the same wording.
So you get 3 gold per 5 plus.
Yeah, you get 3 gold per 5 just on the base, but it didn't say that in the first part. And when it evolves, you get that turns to 6 total.
This is more the support role where you're
so that's like old Midas, right?
Is that old Midas? Really powerful too. You can only power it up off of
3 gold per 5 is insane.
That's crazy. That's doubling. Wow.
But it's also
I'm gonna be a rich Fafnir.
So Lonos give you
that's actually busted.
Oh wow.
This might bring.
Hindu said it was 3 beforehand.
The next one, and can you imagine where you're going to be in this role? The Hunter's Blessing.
Yeah, right.
Gain 15 basic attack damage. I guess that's fine, right? Depending on the other stats they're gonna give it. It looks like you.
Snotty.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, they kind of have the hard part is going to be like balancing them against each other, so that, for example, the assassin's buff isn't like worth too much compared to the other buffs.
Exactly.
I guess this is also kind of shutting down different classes in different roles.
Oh, wow, okay, look at the Hunter Blessing upgrade. That's pretty solid, actually. 15% attack speed and 30 base damage off a 700 gold item.
That's nuts.
It won't work off your build.
And you get this fairly early on, seeing how this is a starter item.
It's as quickly stacked as Devils, just that you get it before Devils.
It's basic attack damage though, so it's not actual scaling like for guys like Anher, which is Impale, Assault, whatever. I guess that's better for guys like Ram or something like that.
On though, it will do like mad work with his passive.
So that's the Hunter's Blessing. We'll move on to the Mage's Blessing.
Wait, then the question is that ability damage, is that magical power, or is it also just for the abilities?
So that's not going to impact.
I think that. I think it's literally just like a yellow 30 number added whenever you get ability.
Okay.
Otherwise, it would be ability power.
So it works more like basically like a Kins kind of thing.
Yes.
Oh wait, I guess this means rip hell support, right?
Better be.
Oh no.
You get lots of money though.
No, you can't.
Yep. Okay. So very similar roll.
No, you can build these on any character.
Oh really?
Which is good.
Yeah. Any character can buy any one of the whatever these things.
Okay.
Except for if you're physical, you can probably not buy the Mage Quest or Mage starter.
But I guess could you? Yeah, the assassin one is intentionally not made, so it's like physical power.
Yeah, I would probably just get the support one in every role. Like 3 gold per 5 sounds so busted to me.
Yeah.
And then you only have to just watch someone else kill some minions.
Yeah. That one promise no one's going to be wanting to kill minions.
No one's going to kill anything.
Oh, the Hunter's killing them for me, I guess. Need 2 Hunters on both side lanes now. Like 1 Hunter per side lane.
That's one less than
mark of the Vanguard.
Okay.
Vanguard.
So Warrior's Blessing is like Vanguard, but then also... What? 40 health upon dealing damage? Oh, 10-second cooldown. Okay, I was gonna say.
So go be aggressive.
The
Mini Gladiators.
10-second cooldown per god, or 10-second cooldown no matter which god you hit? I imagine the latter.
This
has to
be right.
Once every 10 seconds, getting a killer assist on an enemy.
So it doesn't play like.
Otherwise, it would be pretty crazy if you get like a good ult off.
Yeah, it just seemed
like
you
ult on the teamfight, 200 heal plus a shield. Let's go.
So you start off aggressive warrior, and then it transitions into now I get a bit more.
Or Gruan.
Yeah, the really cool thing about this one is it encourages this constant poke, which oftentimes the
solo so excited
because you're always in the minion lane.
Wait 10 seconds
till you're just kind of swinging on each other, and whoever manages.
I'm like, hold your ult on purpose to do that again.
Yeah, that's the strat.
Or get a kill, of course.
I really want to see how these changes are going to affect the meta game itself, because I mean, the fact that these blessings are so specific with what you have to do, you have a quest to fulfill.
Yeah, it does.
I want to see how the team comps, if they change up at all. I want to see if the games go longer, or it's going to be sick to see, but it's going to take a while until meta develops.
Yeah, I don't think we'll really know until SPL, I guess.
Yeah, I think even at next Worlds, we're not going to see full abuse of the map, personally thinking.
I think people are getting a lot better at figuring out how to abuse the map now, although I still feel like people just don't want to do invade meta.
Yeah.
Which is why it doesn't happen earlier in the season normally.
That's true.
We've still got lots more to go.
Okay, so this is the ones that you can also buy these in Conquest, but the Conquest specific were locked to Conquest. So you can still buy these in Conquest.
And that's what we're up to next. Defender's Blessing. 700 gold, 100 health, 10 physical protection, 10 magical protection.
I need an overview of those. These bottom panels don't really.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they have it panel by panel. They should just bring it up on the side, the entire item.
This is confusing.
Yeah, so this is an interesting.
I'll need to read this.
They fucked up. I can't.
We track as a stat, but we don't really trigger too much.
You can't even read this, honestly.
There's 100 health and 10 of each prot, I think.
But you also want to stay alive because if you're dead, you're
and then that's what it gets for
upgrades. It's kind of an interesting
upgrades.
trigger where you have to play this tank role very effectively.
How many stacks do you need?
50. Wait, what? The last one?
Is it 50 for everything? Yeah, there we go.
2,500 damage mitigated. That's like nothing.
I would not say that. This one I think is actually has the most widespread application.
700 gold, shockingly enough. 10 MP.
I like this one.
10% cooldown reduction as standard, and the quest is damage enemies or heal allies to
oh, that's like
Gwan.
Whoa, this is interesting.
Healed by your abilities in one stack. Each ability can only trigger up to 3 stacks.
But these are all still for conquest, yeah? Or are they?
Yes, yes, you can also.
Oh wow.
Jeez, how many are there?
This would be pretty sick for health.
5 of each, if I remember correctly, so 10 total.
You know, you could pick this up on a tank, you could pick this up on a hunter. It could really go either way.
I think.
Cool. So that's it for the blessing section.
That's it for our starter items. Those will be your new options.
MP5.
Rest in peace.
And 10% cooldown.
That was similar to Astral, actually.
Some of them are going to come back.
Yeah, but you're also not getting 3 gold for 5 that evolves into 6 gold for 5.
From starters.
Wait, so these these blessings, they cost 700 each. That means you can start with 2.
No, you're not allowed to buy 1.
But that doesn't really make sense then, does it?
It doesn't.
It
really doesn't.
They lower it to 700.
Yeah.
Would like.
I mean, it's more like that you probably saw that you can buy like a 750 gold item if there's any of those left. Not sure.
Maybe boots to her 800 now.
Maybe they want you to get more potions since you're going to be staying in lane longer because the map's so big. I don't know.
Maybe. I was thinking jungle starts will be the ones that change the most. I guess 700.
Yeah,
not really. What else are you gonna get?
700. Yeah, well, you won't get Boombas and Bluestone anymore. So
yeah, junglers are a lot less lethal now.
Change.
Yeah, but you can't get boots holy. Okay.
All right.
Well, there's no Devil's nerfs. Come on, man. Really?
I think Devos is a good meta personally.
I think it's so boring. I know that
more Chalice buffed.
Trance is buffed, but Devils. As long as Hunter's overperforming, you just nerf Devils, and it's it's gone.
All those items at the bottom.
That's always
buff.
We're gonna go over a lot of those too because they've been.
Oh, they buffed. They nerfed these. I don't know.
Rod to Hootie. Wow.
Why is sovereignty
it changes?
The complete bottom has changed.
Yeah, but sovereignty is buffed.
Yeah,
more prots.
It's already
categories. So first we did starters. Next we're gonna move on to mage items. And then we'll do into some.
I did the maths, Hayzer.
Redesigned items.
It depends. I did the math too, but it depends. In certain situations, it can be better. But if the buff goes through, it should be better. Yeah.
We'll get there.
It will be better. The HP 5 on it for a team is already great.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not better just stats wise than.
It's just that the damage reduction will still be a little bit lower. But
Rod of Hootie. Let's talk about these real fast. 150 power for 3,000 gold, and I guess the passive has to be changed.
So percentage must be reduced from it's 25 right now, right? So it'll be 20. Is my guess.
Is the hidden auto attack buff still in Rod of the Hootie? Or did they remove
wait, no,
that
the
at some
25 power is only against below 50% health now, what?
Oh.
So it's like nothing and then 20. So it's basically 12.5 for a whole target.
I like this. This makes Rod less of a key item that everyone needs to build and more like situational if you want to go for it.
Well, you need.
But the question is it good enough
suck without Rod?
No, mages suck without shard.
Mages suck without Rod.
Really only single choices we saw.
How about both?
100%.
When Doom War became a bit more effective, it was
disagree.
When people
really? When was the last time you saw a mage in a competitive game
without Rod?
Without Rod doing well?
Because you never see a mage without Rod doing well because no one does not get Rod. Like they always get Rod.
Mages don't do much until they get Rod as well.
On top of power, on top of long range DPS.
They're the weakest class until Rod, and then I'd say they're the strongest.
In many ways, and it was encouraged by the game because because you're going to get this huge.
I feel like if a mage in the mid game gets a bit ahead and has to do more with the pen boots, I feel like that is a big impact on the game already. Like, if you're talking late game builds, full slotted with the Tahuti, I feel like utility is also a decent option if you just like a character that wants to bait, like you got Isis full HP with like a slow whatever, decent bit of pen, but you just can't fit in the rod. I feel like that's still enough. If you have a secondary mage to back you up.
These big AoE damaging abilities with more power, they're going to
disagree.
All these options are going to be much more
yeah, I disagree.
I think balanced across the board. Yep. And the final thing is that mages
rely so hard.
Power spike, counter back and forth, where whenever you
honestly, I think they need both shot and rod in almost all situations. If you go through any game really, and a game that goes long enough for you to build rod, you will probably have rod. The game needs any sort of pen, which is pretty much any game. You will have shard. So I think the discussion is a bit void when you really need both.
I think that you definitely need both, but I think that they're still. I think mages are the least impactful characters in almost every game until rod is online.
So let's run into who.
And if you exclude,
like CDR mages can do stuff before that.
Of course.
Like think for example Morrigan, she doesn't need rod to work.
That's why we have the section.
Yeah, but
that goes on for a bit.
Buff a lot of other.
It doesn't go anyway. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Again. Okay.
It doesn't matter since rod is now changed, so who cares?
Do mob.
Wait, what?
Yeah, do mob back to the old price.
There's a lot of change to this. Wait.
So the power's way down.
Minion provides you with one stack, so killing her.
Wait. How much power does this? How many stacks does it have now?
Granting you 1% movement speed and 3 power.
Has to be like 20 stacks or something, right?
Oh no,
it's 50.
Oh wait, what?
Oh,
it is temporary. It's 15 seconds.
The old Doom mob of get 40 stacks and get all this
okay.
mono regen. Now
I don't know if anyone would buy.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Like, use your shit to clear.
Or something?
I mean, don't underrate it with the map being larger.
It's more expensive. It's temporary.
No, it's not more expensive.
It's lower than what you had before.
It's 1.7k.
Finding your opponent in between waves and making moves to rotations in jungle.
It's 1.7k.
Yeah.
We really like this style because previously it was just
the same 60 power, right?
Or complete garbage. And that was way too binary. We even saw this at like HRX when the teams that were building Doom Orb.
This overview is so confusing.
That was winning a lot.
Yeah, I wish we just had like a list of everything at once.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Look at that after.
So
it's 5% movement speed and 15 power. The no passive.
Yeah.
But it's 60 power, right? On it right now?
No, we don't know the base stats yet.
No, they didn't change it. They didn't show the actual base stats, but I assume given they're changing it, it's staying the same.
Yeah.
By
every
this,
regard that hasn't been stated otherwise.
Kind of like old design did, where you had speed where you just stack.
But like, it's basically what you want to do with it now is you clear your mini wave and then attack the enemy. But that's it. Or you kill someone. I don't think that's worth it.
Or just blink Jonquil the entire enemy team and have it instantly stacked to the rest of the damage.
Wait, they didn't show the base stats?
No, they didn't get changed, probably.
Okay, that means they didn't get changed.
Oh, they went through with the Telekine's change.
Oh yes. Oh, I love this one.
This is interesting. I want to see this in use. And I don't want to see Freya come back.
Sean Queen, man. Oosh.
Does he double proc it?
Nah, I don't think so.
That would be crazy.
Had a flat component.
That would be no way.
Kind of had a tough time.
I don't think the second one counts as an in-hand though, it just counts as 1% of your in-hand damage.
Although it double clears wards.
Good. But when we were looking
it double damages Kumba as well, but I don't think it procs as a basic attack as a whole. Like it doesn't double proc Poly as well.
Does Erlang's dog double clear wards?
Erlang's dog doesn't hit wards.
Yeah,
doesn't target.
So weird.
It can, I'm pretty sure it could. If you happen to try and auto someone and the dog got somehow hit. Nah, maybe not. It's weird things like how minions can sometimes accidentally kill AMC hives and stuff like that. There's weird interactions.
His base attack's so low.
Yeah,
but it's pretty.
How much power is Telkine's right now?
Well,
Pawn will juggle that.
I'll try.
Yeah, I think it's 80.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Book of the Dead is the next item on this list to be looked at, and you saw down the buff and nerf trees. This item has been moved from the trinket.
I mean, it's a book. What is it doing in the trinket?
That is true.
Best change in the patch notes so far.
Yeah.
Tree with soul reliquary.
The trinket tree was like all the lifesteal items. Previous all the major lifesteal items were in one place.
I mean, book is lifesteal as well, though.
Yeah, I guess it's now.
Book of the Dead.
Let's see what it does now. I like the old effect. I hope they didn't completely overhaul it.
There to the books. Yeah. And,
wait, so Toth is in the same. Toth and Soul Reaver in the same tree as.
Thematically making sense. Build off items that
Book of the Dead now.
Yeah, the Book of Thoth.
I don't know if I prefer them being thematically linked or linked by function.
But we'll see what they change.
I reckon they'll take the lifesteal off it.
So you can go to the library now as a mage.
But then the passive doesn't work anymore, so...
New passive?
What's the new passive?
It's got a new icon.
No, no, mine.
Mana. So like every book it gives mana now.
We've added 200 mana to this item.
Theme of that tree is mana and power.
And the new passive.
Oh, so it's like a bulwark, basically. In mana.
Ooh, Kwang. Sorry,
Coco. Equal to your mana too. That's pretty cool.
Book of Thoth, Book of the Dead combo.
It's interesting, but I feel like it's viable for less characters than it was before.
Passive with Book of the Dead was really fun, was really interesting. But
I feel like
depending on how effective the mana thing translates over. Wait,
it's like bulwark, basically.
Yeah. Mana
I don't know
bulwark.
why they kept it. Why is it still Book of the Dead when it's just a different item?
Book of the Mana.
I mean, would you like the original Book of the Death, Book of the Dead to continue existing, or?
They could call it Book of Hope.
No.
Oh, Soul
I
Gem.
feel like it's misleading to keep items with the same name.
That is so stacked, that item.
2,300 gold for Soul Gem, 65 magical power, 150 health, 12% magical 10%.
You gain one stack. Okay, thank you for what?
No pass. Oh no.
With an ability or basic attack, you gain 1 stack. At 5 stacks, your next
Oh, you gain 1 stack. Wow, that's crazy.
Oh, it's
magical power. And will heal
that does too much.
Oh my god.
There is too much going on.
Wait. Late game, that's like... If a mage is like 700 power...
We talked about bringing some stars back.
Okay, more realistic. 500 power.
Yep. It has a really interesting effect.
That's insane, dude. That's like 125 heal for your whole team. Every 5 stacks
is pretty close.
That's pretty cool.
Alright, that's...
And it's not limited to gods. You could ult a fire giant with Thoth to heal your team. Right?
It's an assault item.
That item did way too much for me. Way too much.
Magical lifesteal and the passive. Your magical.
Oh, this we saw. This was the first like another poly. This was the first like a change polynomicon in data mining, I think.
Increased by the 100% of a magical lifesteal.
This is actually really interesting because of the amount of lifesteal that you get out of it. Like
you have 50 lifesteal. You also get.
So if you have like 30 lifesteal, 30% lifesteal, then you already get 45 magical power out of that.
They both
definitely not bad.
The
second passive applies first.
Holy.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow. More power and your lifesteal into more.
Okay, that's good.
So the power applies before the lifesteal increase, which is
that would be silly.
Well, they don't. I mean, go back and forth. You don't get the increase and then power.
Okay,
they both play off the same core number.
Okay.
So say you have.
I feel like they should have made this item like non-physical or magical specific, so you could get it and have it with Soul Tree.
But then Devos with that shit.
Yeah, I was about to say. That'd be awful.
That'd be lovely. Give me that.
Acid proxy just go.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Whoa! Talking about Obsidian shot, huh?
There's like rip tank meta. Yes, tank meta. What?
They're gonna change something else about it. Let's see what it is. True damage instead.
They're gonna be like added 40% medical penetration.
Good ones, there's bad ones.
Added 40% true damage, man.
But we also want to make sure players can counter build. This is something we've always encouraged.
Counter build.
We really like, and you'll see a couple other changes.
Oh, so they think that shard.
But a problem was. Titans and Obsidians.
Well, that's more an issue with...
Maybe they're gonna add percentage magical pen to base stats of mages. What about that?
Maybe.
That'd be sick, but they won't. I don't think they'll do it.
Yeah, it would be. I guess you get base protection, so.
Because if an item is so core that you build it every game, you might as well give it to the character. I don't know. Because the character doesn't function without this stat.
There has to be like really big flat pen values now, otherwise tank items is just gonna be.
So you're gonna see now 4 items,
insane.
2 that work off protections and 2 that work on health.
Okay.
2 for mages and 2 for physicals that are specifically nerfed from their season 4 versions.
Chins is nerfed, Shard is nerfed.
Gods.
Okay, so here we go.
Oh, it's actually
33% magical penetration removed.
It actually is that.
Oh my god.
20% of the target's magic protection. If the target has over 40.
Oh, it's this one. Oh, okay.
A larger percentage.
Oh, it's even higher than you said, EmilZy.
5% magical penetration.
It's actually 45%.
More magical protection.
Fucking lol, dude.
Holy shit, 45 pen and 2,150 gold.
I think you really can't.
I can see some people sitting at 170 protections and a lot of health.
Yes, you don't want to skip that cap.
Between those 2 numbers.
That's going to be some maths.
I like it though. It makes you build smart.
Yeah. But the moment somebody builds one protection item, I'm assuming it's basically back to the old stats already.
That really fucks it with like auras too. Because like you don't want to stand next to the person because then you take more damage. Because
dude, I've got thieves. Solo later, get away from me. Run.
But the interesting thing here is, last season Hayzer nerfed 3% of Titan's Bane because it was too good, and now we have this.
Yep. Right.
Job done. Okay.
Yep. These items you will not want these items to.
How's this gonna work out with
counter
flat
your
pen?
similar class. You won't want to do it against.
Flat pen still applies first, then, right? Oh no, flat pen applies first, right? It has
no,
to
it applies seconds always. What?
Yeah, but like with the new thing, right?
But it's gonna hurt your damage a little bit towards towers.
PTS
and,
is now downloading
because this is also now
Oh wow, yeah, mine's
too.
Correct.
So how?
Just like shout out to everyone.
PTS.
Yeah, flat pen.
I don't even own Smite PTS on this PC.
I found it.
That kind of also helped that a bit.
I can get you
flat pen is now the go-to stat to damage tower.
Okay. So the main goal: Titans and Obsidians.
Sorry for the title.
Catch-all penetration, good against everything.
Makes sense. Ethereal Stab is the next one on this list, and this is based off what Edge was just saying.
My internet's so fast.
The new passive of Ethereal Stab, when your abilities deal an additional 3% of the target's maximum health is true damage. If the target has
true damage, okay.
Bonus damage scales up. Capping at 10% max health over 2,750.
Every 10 seconds, you're just dealing 10% true damage.
Yeah, enjoy your tank meta, bro.
Yeah.
Everyone has like above 2,750 build the health in tank builds right now. Like what?
Here's my prediction for the meta. Right now, Fafnir is the best guardian in the game and is first pick, first ban.
Wow, that is a bold prediction.
Yeah.
Attack hits deal physical damage equal to 3% of the target's
Unheard of.
health. If the target has over 2,000 health, your basic attack bonus damage scales up.
Fafnir has never been good since he's been in the game, Dimi. And now's the time, I believe.
This only affects gods.
Right. So it used to be 4. Now it's scaled down from 3.
Show us the next panel, please.
Yep. Okay. Nerfed
oh, that works on buffs now.
So they were the tank shredder items we were talking about.
Yep,
and the next one is, what was the next section you wanted to class?
Movement speed.
Movement speed.
Yeah. So
boots are getting nerfed. That's what you need to know on the base level.
Pretty much.
That's fine.
Well, I mean, they cost 500.
Boots have always been pretty OP. I hope they get nerfed equally though.
We've not listed that yet on our section, but I just wanted to bring that up.
Over
Boots are
2K
overstated, but
700 gold for
they kind of have to
500
be.
for boots tier 1. You've still got what,
oh wow.
200 gold
get a couple potions.
300.
300,
Yeah.
200, 300.
Yeah. That's a good start.
25 flat
So is
move
blessing
MS
tier
is still definitely worth 200 gold increase
but we're
and
looking
the
at
15 and
Well, it
55.
depends.
Honestly,
I think
I feel
all
like-
boots will see.
I feel like this is gonna be so good.
1400 to 1600
Yeah.
overall.
Not only on supports, but junglers as well. Maybe pretty much anyone else. Like even solo, if they just constantly
What the passive has changed.
go back to lane.
Gain 20% additional
Mercury,
speed
dude.
after leaving the farm.
Yeah.
AMC,
Last
that
episode.
little, with his hives,
Combination
he's
of
going to be
swift win, no
swift.
gold regen on these either.
Yeah, it's the gold.
There's so many gods that can use this
7
That's what
seconds.
you
so effectively.
100%.
Correct. There's a
Yeah.
few issues with Talari's trap.
Oh, imagine you're doing a base hold and then you're playing Merc and you just play Talaria.
Oh, wow.
But I think you lose it as soon as you're in combat, so actually.
Yeah,
Especially with all the base
up on
Still.
enter combat.
It'd work on the first auto.
Would it
no?
work on the first punch? Maybe. I think it probably would.
Just kind of threw off differences between characters if you didn't build them.
Well,
or
technically,
build
it
them
also
together.
Depends if you enter combat before, like if you get hit first, right?
Guardian's Blessing,
Because
that
it's
was meant
up
to
on
be
enter
a
combat.
generator for the Guardians.
You gotta
Whereas
dodge.
there's a-
You're moving fast enough, so you probably
so
can.
45% movement speed.
Anyone can build this, so it's open up to a whole bunch of different classes.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
It's very. I mean, I think they'll be very strong, but you do have to sacrifice specifically some power and some other things.
Yeah, you're losing like 30 power for warrior
tab.
tabby.
No cooldown reduction.
There's also some other adjustments to the other boots.
Wait, if they increase the cost of those, then Talaria is worth even more.
And warrior tabby.
Like if Ninja and Warrior are more expensive.
I think they might increase the MS maybe to 20%.
Yeah, but that's 2% more compared to
more expensive.
Just to reiterate again, everything will be available for you guys to read through manually after the patch notes show. We're not going through every single number change. We're just scanning over.
Right, we're already running late. If we read all of those changes, this would be insane. So you're going to see a lot of changes to boots, and the biggest ones are redesigns of Talarian Drop.
The Crusher again, every season.
It's got a new passive, does Crusher. The passive is while over. Sorry.
Oh, Bluestone.
Your abilities deal bonus damage over time equal to 30 plus 15% of your physical power over 2 seconds.
Souped up Bluestone.
No.
Lost track as well.
Well, it was Tower
That's
Strider,
not
and then
really
CDR, and now it is aimed at
Is that good?
And this really
like
makes sense
60
for
damage.
kind of hunters who are the more
It's worse than it is
the attacks
now, right?
them so that they can actually start attacking a bit more.
I feel like considering how like Bluestone was so good because it was cheap.
Bonus damage, they can build things like
I'm not sure if that works for Crusher.
These high physical power items.
It scales on physical power.
To work off basic attacks can totally do it.
I mean, like, that's the only at least you've got there.
Does Bluestone have any scaling at all? It doesn't, right?
Depending on the
it's just flat 30.
Instant versus the more overtime damage.
I mean, but even if you have like what? If you have
that we added,
200 power, that's like 30. Right?
Most of those classes they need some attack speed anyway.
Well,
so the fact that they can build into an item that's very good for ability hunters while also getting some attack.
I think it's always nice personally when they add some sort of like more in-depth like itemization for assassins because it's so bland with the all like mace tree.
Buy flat pen, buy percent pen.
Yeah.
The nice part of it is really that it helps abilities that aren't leveled yet but deal damage. Like if you don't level your leap but you leap on an enemy and you still get the full damage, it's gonna be a lot of damage.
So you're always gonna have 10% cooldown.
Blackthorn Hammer. So this item wants you to spam abilities and then recover mana.
So you're gonna be at.
This is the
Guan Yu.
Oh, well, that's completely different.
The patch of Guan Yu.
Like Guan Yu, who
there we go. Go on.
Alright, I'm coming back.
That's my boy, Paul.
Wow.
Yeah.
50 MP5. That's
okay, that's Blackthorn Hammer.
crazy.
The next one with a new passive is Iqval. Well, it's not a new passive.
Oh yeah, Iqval is now Silver Branch as well.
Now also reduces magical power by 15 per stack. So instead of having the 2...
Makes a lot more sense to me.
Yep, so we're adjusting Iqval and Silver Branch to...
And if Silver Branch goes to his data mine, it will also make sense, but it's gonna be weird.
Reduce power of both.
Vote's Worlds build now isn't as bad.
Yep, it is actually what it was data mined as.
It's gonna do every successful basic attack increases your attack speed by 5%.
This is so strange.
Wait, what? Sorry, what was on about Vote's Worlds build? Like, why did he go with that?
I don't know.
So instead of magical versus physical,
He thought that it helped with trading, even though you don't trade into the SE anyway. Like you just it doesn't really happen.
Is gonna be Hide of the Urchin.
I didn't get any like.
Oh, Urchin is...
We're reducing the protections per stack from 3 to 2 to start off with, but now it evolves providing a new effect, and the new effect is you gain 100 health plus 5 per level.
Wait, what?
That
you get that shield every 3 seconds out of combat?
3 seconds while out of combat.
Regenerates a small.
Oh, in 30. Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
30 seconds. There's 100 times.
200
reduce protections. So what's that? 3.
The regens.
No wait.
So that's you lose 10 prots, 10 of each prot on it, to get this passive at 10 stats.
Every 3 seconds does it every 30.
I don't think it's like I think it's worse than
It
before.
might still be good in like arena and stuff. I think it'll be bad in conquest.
Does a shield amount.
It's too easy to like preemptively burn the shield as well. I think. And then,
no, we're talking about both.
Can you guys log into PTS?
Yes.
It says the game is up.
The item has been nerfed per protections per stack. This was just
it's down for me.
protection items.
I'm inside in.
We
right
wanted
now.
to make it not just the most raw stats. We wanted to give it a new identity.
So
can we do the F10 trick?
Still get stacks,
but less
No,
protection.
but you get a shield. Right?
I'm just gonna try with the F10 trick if it works.
Oh, you don't even need to F10 trick.
It's
like it's just clickable.
If you want to
I just press play.
Your initiations more.
I mean, you can still F10 if you want. But
yeah, I just like it to be lit up, man.
Shield. Like it may sound very strong, but you really have to pace out when you're gonna dive. I mean, you can get if you start to clear jungle camps, you're gonna interrupt this a lot. So kind of getting that whole shield up is something that we want to take for the more calculated guidance.
Next up,
Cure Conquest.
Less math involved. Talisman of Energy is the next one on the list.
Less math.
There's some still.
This is a new item?
PTS is waiting for Xbox Spectator update. What? What's going on?
Roughly out last year, but we decided not to.
300 health.
So some people data mined saw this icon, it might look familiar to them, but Now it's back with a real item.
2250.
No, I can log in though.
50 magical
Yeah,
protection,
man.
300
Oh, refund Smite gems, 96,432.
Or an assist on enemies
Just spent too much,
man.
and allies within 55 units to gain stacks of energy. Energy stacks provide 1% movement speed, 1% attack speed, 5 MP.
Still the old Obey clan status
Last
is there.
6 seconds and stacks up to 10 times, so that can be 10 movement speed, 10 times. When it says kill or assist on enemies,
so that's the war flag passive.
Yeah, that's the war flag plus one.
They don't count as enemies. Sorry.
I mean,
So
technically they are enemies, though.
Sure.
Not in the rule. Not in the rules of Smite.
Caught him, guys.
Humanoids, as we call them in the
Okay.
code. It's minions, jungles, gods.
Minion
So this is
jungle
a souped-up war flag.
Yeah.
As a sort of aggressive or hybrid magical protection item.
It ends up being 10% movement speed, 10% attack speed, 5 MP, 5 per stack as well. So
For your
that's
whole
But is this
team,
only
if
for
you clear
kills or
away, you get
assists?
6%
Like minion
everybody
kills or
right
assists?
around you.
Both,
Use this
right?
to boost up the whole team. We really like
I'm just like
being an
playing with the
aggressive
thought of like
kind of
using it for
aura.
jungle,
This is kind of
clear
similar.
movement speed.
Yeah, we've seen it in
But
playtests where people build it and
not
kind of
sure.
siege towers with it because they're killing minions and then pushing the tower, then killing minions and pushing the tower.
Maybe if you
It's a
could.
lot of fun.
It's only 6
Next up on the
seconds
list
though.
is Gauntlet
So.
of Thebes.
Ooh, Thebes,
is
let's
gonna have some
go.
adjustments. Increased cost, first of all, from 2150
What?
to 2400. We've also decreased the health in this item from 300 to 200.
Nice,
It has
good
a new
start. I like it.
For each assist on a lane minion,
That's so weird. I think it's like
stacks
kind of
provide
urchin
1
level.
physical protection and magical protection evolve
Less
with
health or
50
something, but
stacks, and the
same
evolved
Wait, what?
What's
200
provides
health,
20
50 of
magical
each
protection
prot?
to you and your ally gods within 70 units.
Oh, God.
So,
Well, plus the 20
What?
magic protection.
That's 70 and 200 health for 2,400 gold.
No, it's 50-70. It doesn't have physical protection, does it?
We're giving this more selfish protections for the guardian.
Oh,
but
okay,
also
it's
have the aura.
50-70
You
then,
have to
no?
really commit
Yeah.
to being a guardian.
Which is still kind of sick.
For
It's
200
it's only
health.
assists.
Yeah.
For
You have to
24.
really buy it early and commit to stacking it and playing as a support to really
Yeah.
get those stacks.
Wow.
Really, we're
So you
just
just
making
rush
it
this
better
now?
as opposed to providing too much
Yeah.
of an early power spike.
Literally the entire PTS is already up,
Wow.
including the
It's a
skins.
new identity for a guardian item.
Yeah.
We've been wanting to do something.
Let's just look for the
for
changes
a really
ourselves.
long
Let's go.
time. A lot of players
Multiple
have
seasons.
We
had
could.
feedback like this.
Wait,
what's next?
Tier 3 that you actually
Way
stack
too confusing.
launchers and Lonos to,
Yeah,
to
probably.
really assist, and then you get paid off with really big guardian
and then
stats.
add that with a high
What?
If
A
you
lot of
complete
stack items are supported.
50-70.
complete
That's
this item, you're gonna
crazy.
have
That's like
a lot of
50
protections
minions
in the whole,
assists.
and
That's
you're gonna be
nothing,
powerful
man.
in a very powerful way.
Yeah, but
that-
if you
that health
reach
as well,
the
right?
cap though, dude, if you reach the cap,
3 or more enemy gods are within
45%
units, you gain a
protections,
5%
45% of your protections are disappearing.
This is just a slight tweak.
Yeah.
We used
Guys,
to
I'm
have
pretty
it be
sure the
1/10
blessings are
and
not
be
all
cooldown.
available in
Someone has
Conquest.
made it a
Right, I'm
more
looking at them right
consistent,
now.
but no cooldown.
Okay.
And
It's
the wording was
only-
also kind of a bit confusing. 'Cause
no,
you
it's
had to
only
trigger it
5
off a
blessings
certain
in
amount
Conquest.
being around you,
Okay,
now
and then
it's
5
triggers
for the other.
having
Strangely enough, you can get the mage blessing
So anytime
as
you
an
dive in,
assassin.
you're gonna get bonus of defense.
Spectral armor,
Ooh.
decreased physical protection.
I mean, you could be.
to 60,
You could.
and
Yeah,
a
that makes
new
sense.
I mean,
doesn't
it doesn't have
critical
anything
strikes deal
specific, I guess.
50% bonus
But
damage
no,
to
it says ability damage. Oh, it works on physical abilities as well. Then
Been asking
I
for this.
suppose.
Ah.
Well,
It's
Spectral armor.
strictly-
Also, I'm sad that they removed
not
It's
fair.
just spectral.
No,
Spectral.
Yeah, that's gone.
Okay.
old
Um,
passive. I
and,
liked it.
effectively-
It was super situational, way too long cooldown, but it
This
was.
is the anti-crit armor. It is strictly, you know.
I just love fucking
as
with
far as
tours.
just general physical protection.
But
Do you
like,
just
correct,
fucking
there's
you
someone
cap
really
out
going
at like
for it,
300 prots
it
now, I
means a
think, and
lot.
you just don't think about the pen items because
Yeah,
there's
bonus
no
is
way
like
you're gonna
almost
get
become
lower than 170
Yeah.
That's cool.
with all
Cursed
these new
Armor
items.
Upgrade is the next thing on here. and
You're gonna have to
with the
actively build
previous
damage to get
increased
that low.
mana cost of
Yeah.
cooldown, so not many people were really using that, but I thought it
I don't know
was
how many
a
health
good
items there are.
opportunity.
Curve tank
It
is
really
OP
has
now.
a
Look at
bonus
this.
effect. If you are healed by an
Oh.
ability while this effect is
Shit,
active,
that's
then
disgusting.
damage from-
Just pop it after
From all
Vanity
sources
and you
of
do
effect.
120% damage
If
to
I-
See that
him.
face?
if
That's
my
like a
teammate
wash,
heals me
basically,
and I
but-
debuff
While you're
him,
cursed.
But what if he's a noob? That's not my fault he's a noob and he healed me when I didn't want to get
Well, he
healed.
healed you.
The
so you
same goes
might
for
as well
hell,
get out.
right? Like you just pop it when you should pop the
We
free.
were only
You're
doing
doing
a couple relic
120%
changes.
damage.
We were feeling really good about relics,
Yeah.
but there's a couple upgrades.
Well, to
that
allies,
we
but
feel
not to
like
her,
had the
right?
same potency
Because he's not
when
taking.
upgraded.
Yeah,
So
but
this is
chances
one that
are,
people
like,
really weren't prioritizing.
At
the
least in
upgrade, but
start,
wanted them
people
to
aren't gonna
happen.
play around it.
We also wanted to just, you know, look at a couple relics at a couple nerfs, but there's not going to see that many changes. So
you take increased damage with this upgrade.
That's
if
actually a
you are
good
getting
point.
healed.
Yep.
Why?
right, and that lasts for the same duration as
why
the-
crit
So if you are
anti-crit
cursed for
is a
8,
thing
whatever, 5
when
seconds, and you only
it
get healed
doesn't
the
seem
last
like they're
second, you
changing
only
crit, but
got
they're
the
like
increased damage
buffing
for 1
pen.
more second.
Yeah.
Well, talking about relics,
And
this is the
attack
next one.
speed.
This is a big one.
No, they've removed Hand of the
Yes, rest
Gods.
in peace.
Hand of the Gods.
Just when Rival needed it.
It's gone.
Oh.
4.
I like it.
Rest in peace, Hog.
Kind of shuts down the early cheese before it even develops.
Yeah.
So, as much as it was cheese, I still missed season 1 End of the God.
It was kind of always designed as this idea to help.
Yeah, I liked it too when he cleared the entire wave. Don't get me wrong. That's what it should be used for.
Used to just spam on jungle boss clears.
Bakasura, paying level 5 off of hogging the archers and then fucking murdering you.
Most players' perspective.
Yep, that's why I liked it. You got the point exactly.
The relic was not.
It would be so awkward because both the hogs come up at the same time, so you just like slap each other and then go run to the archers. And then double hog. Okay.
Why are they already on relics, by the way? Are they just going alphabetically through everything?
I think they're done with items.
No, they didn't talk about trends, for example.
They said they were skipping a lot of the item changes.
So
really, they should have mentioned trends at least, which has 10% CDR now.
So if you've already dealt 3k damage, while this effect is active, healer forms will end early.
You can still die because now.
Wait, your level is at the.
And we'll be looking at this number really closely.
So Fawns can only reflect
kind of tough
on 3k damage now.
Want to see it in practice, see if players are actually achieving it ending early and then counter.
Honestly, I feel like this is gonna.
It's still lasting full duration the whole time.
Well, it's not even the so that's how for 3k or whatever it is that. So that's how much damage you are dealt. So it's like a percentage of that, right?
Oh
yeah.
Go read it.
It doesn't feel like much at all. Like what?
Twitter and Reddit.
If the reflect ends too early, it's basically useless.
After give you guys a little look at some of the changes we're going to see for sure. Buffs too. Ymir, Loki, Raw, Agni, Hebo, Hel, Scylla, Ares, Kepri, Tyr, Giannis, Kuzenbo, and
Nerf, please.
Boa buff, I'm down.
God.
Kuzenbo buff. Giannis buff?
Where's one buff?
Giannis buff? Wait, what? Rat nerf?
If
Yes.
we don't go into too much
Why?
Get out of here. I don't like Rat.
I can see the rest of the nerfs, but Rat?
Rat's a brain character.
Has he been picked at Worlds at all?
Yep, we picked him against. We picked him against.
Latam, Brazil.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Hellbound. Yes.
Twig fragged.
Yes, we're
Hell
giving this to all. So previously, core DPS mages did not have any magical scaling permanent. Right. We're giving them all that.
Oh, Prime's gonna be happy about that.
We didn't really do it just for.
Yes. Hell's more.
Oh, there we go.
We did it because we wanted to help the mage class as a whole, along with our item changes and our philosophy of like.
Does that bring all mages up? Yeah, that brings all mages up to the same level as Freya, Kronos were already at, right?
Yeah.
This is also very.
So it's supposed to be. Or should be, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Tier 5 jealous queen question mark.
So we want to give mages really stood no chance against guardians in many scenarios previous to this, but now they'll have a few more options. They'll be a little harder to.
Yeah, I like that. That's actually a really good point. How a late game guardian could just kind of run at a mage. If you're a bit hybrid, the mage couldn't do anything.
My food's ready.
We'll start with Amuz and Carb.
What do you have?
Do the HRX nerfs.
Yeah,
he's gone. Never mind.
He's all gone.
Yes.
What do you think? No death toll now for cleave guards. It's gonna be rough.
I love that. I haven't even thought about that.
That's so good.
Oh hell yes. Fucking cleave guards, get out of here.
Okay, so it's 5% less MS and 20 less attack. That that reminds me of the. That honestly reminds me of the Fafnir nerf with the 2 buff, right? That's also from 50 to 30.
So a little bit preemptive, but mostly off his performance at Worlds.
He was one of the highest performing gods of Season 4, both in HRX and in ranked play and etc. Really, really strong god. So
after Amuz and Carb, we'll look at Kukulum. His base stats reduced base HP 5 from 9 to 7. But not only that, we also hit the Spear of Mortal Pain.
Wow.
As well. Increased cooldown from 90 seconds to 100 seconds.
Whoa. I mean, I don't mind, but...
Of course it carries over. But
oh man.
This was a really strong ultimate.
They're like...
I was watching Dimi earlier today, and he managed to get the ult off twice in a fight. Or transformed twice in a fight. It's already... You already were actually on cooldown, man.
Yeah, it wasn't 20 seconds, because I didn't have much CDR. So when I transformed it for the second time, I was on cooldown for like 5 seconds. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I'm supposed to have 2 ultimates instantly, come on.
Yes, like where's my ult? It's not even like an ult, you know, it's just like
oh wow, oh wow.
Yeah,
oh wow, that's actually huge.
That is some DR right there.
That is holy.
It's a really strong chain now, having that reduced by 0.5 seconds.
That's, I like that.
That's good, but I still... I'm not sure.
I mean, chat is saying Carlos is crying.
Yeah, that's wrong. I think they should remove the AoE slow, honestly.
And he's also relatively invasive as far as the Guardian goes with his ability to go out of the battlefield with his transformation and with his leaps. So those are his unique aspects.
Did they mention an Uller nerf or?
Nope, Uller's gonna stay the same.
Good. I actually think that's good.
No, disappointing. I think AMC and Uller both needed nerfs, but
I feel like Uller should be touched up on like mana cost and damage a bit, but the animation should like stay exactly the same.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind that. Even though I preferred old Uller, right? Because I thought it was more fun.
Really? I feel like he plays so smooth right now. I feel like this is the best feeling he's ever had.
Remember last season when they made all the numbers nice in Smite?
Yeah. That was last season, right?
Yeah.
That where they tried to like up all numbers, and now they're just like going back.
That 33.8% sounds good, man.
It also means like if you attack, you can take that Raijin, like I'll take most of the damage my teammates will.
Right, whoever was
by Raijin? I don't think so, because Raijin still is gonna do the same thing that he always has, with he can actually initiate. Or many other mages, he just jumps in and ults, and you don't really wanna kill him. Well, you do, but it's hard.
Yeah, this is just a very powerful ultimate. We saw this at HRX.
If you listen carefully, you can hear Primo crying. Right.
No more drum.
Drum nerfs dum. He should tweet that. That's a good tweet.
Shout outs to me stealing the joke from chat here.
Yeah, he was very aggressive early on. He could clear very effectively. He could gank very effectively, and it was hard to push him out because he
Ravana nerfed.
Well, it doesn't fucking matter, because all my ranked teammates always ults out regardless, so they don't get the mitigation, you know.
Ah, me.
adjustments for season 5. Now, a lot of these, I guess, is to things that.
First he bags the drum. Then oh no.
Oh no.
The good old classic.
Like movement speed and jungle clear, depending on or just clear in general.
Well, we'll start
with okay. That's the buffs that we're talking about.
Someone goes good news. Oh, base movement and hell. What? Emir.
Or and Guardians. Yeah. Guardians were all some were at 360, most at 360.
Oh, I'm glad Agni got buffed. He was.
I like how they debated though that like buffs and nerfs, and then the buff for all of these is just
Agni was 355.
Hell is 350, Hebo's 350, and Silla's 350. I want to say
these
right?
gods that were just slower than everyone else in their class didn't seem necessary.
Okay.
I think Geb is one of the only notable exceptions from here because rollout is so insane on the new map. He will be the slowest guardian going forward. And then we'll be closely looking at mages.
You should just level rollout now for the cooldown decrease.
To have a couple mages who seemed arbitrarily punished to be slow.
The Loki buff.
On the list is Loki. Now this was leaked.
How much movement speed is it, like 5 or something?
Cooldown from 14 seconds to 12 seconds, and increase the damage from 75 to 275 is going to be 90 to 290. What's the reason?
So there's some map changes that happen with.
Wait, so did minion health get changed?
Yeah. And so decoy.
I
don't know just yet, but that's what I've heard.
Yeah, it was kind of
implied. Streams and stuff.
Because that depends if this buff matters or not.
Damage a bit, so he can still more compete with how he currently competes, as well as lower the cooldown so that he can do things like make the jungle camps.
Yeah, they did it, Ella. They definitely did.
Get a bit more damage out. Actually,
so it goes in line with this.
Respawn a bit quicker, so having multiple uses of decoy is very useful. Really
honestly, I mean,
because he's going to be a character that
we'll only be able to find out on when they actually release.
Well, Loki's still gonna have the same problem, right? That he's never gonna be able to be too well into a coordinated team, right?
Yeah,
he's gonna die.
I would think so, but
can't change him because there's so many people that play him like he is and don't want him changed. So
yeah,
just stuck where he is forever.
Wait, is teleport still in the game? Do you think that's gonna come back now?
Should do. Oh, it could, huh? In solo at least.
That is a good point.
I don't see why it wouldn't.
It probably should.
They haven't. Did they touch on relics? Yeah, they touched on
Yeah.
They only talked about one, right? It was the healing reduction.
Yeah.
Oh no,
well, not healing reduction anymore, but increased damage on sustain. Yeah.
So he had like 3 advantages of this new map, where most gods only have like 2.
That seems fine.
We're taking him down first. We're going to continue looking at gods like this, and one of the things we'll probably be doing in a lot of cases if we see this is
Loki should be viable. I can see it, honestly.
We see specific gods, Willix,
I can see it. It's a big map to split push on.
We'll take that cooldown up a couple seconds.
Yeah, that's true. It's actually true.
Let's go Apollo, dude.
Yeah, Apollo has. He got buffed recently, right? As well.
Yeah. Is anyone like reading Harris TV chat?
No?
Somewhat. I have it going.
Alright, whoever is owning the Trifecta GG account is a clown. He's just in there spamming the Trifecta logo. as the org. I mean,
oh no.
That's a bit... Not a fan of that. I know that guy as well.
Is it Chuck? Is it Chuck? Oh no.
Overall, I think it'll have a positive effect going forward.
So after
no, wait, stop. Is it Shock?
Yeah, that's his
name.
Shook.
Oh, Nike.
I'm behind, god damn it.
I dig.
Yeah, I like this.
We've decreased the damage, however, which was 50 to 190, now we're 50 to 170. So
also, even though it's like that base damage enough, it's so good for her, like solo overall.
So Nike is an interesting.
Yeah.
Not to get interrupted by everyone.
She is one of the strongest gods in the game. Undeniably so.
You said knockbacks, not knockups. Right?
Yeah, knockback and knockup is always the same mechanic, so it applies both. If you're immune to one, you're immune to both.
We don't really normally see things in this direction.
I think the issue is with people wanting Nike to get better is that Nike doesn't win. Nike doesn't feel good to play as well.
Yes. But you still win because of her passive and stuff.
Yeah. Her passive makes her teammates do better. It doesn't make you do better.
Yeah.
I mean, it does buff you as well, but you're like a bot to begin with.
Ren,
so.
is that her one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's her one.
Make her knockback immune while she's
I mean,
this is something people
what else would it be?
Type abilities in Smite anyway. It kind of felt strange, felt odd. But then take
decrease the damage on the jump.
It did too much. And ulting for 170, I'm not buying that.
Which I know, I'm sorry, you guys think I'm crazy for that, but she's just absolutely performing.
I love playing Nike. She's fun as hell. I disagree.
We talked about it everywhere, so we're going to finally talk about it here too. She is
I quite like playing Nike.
Sorry that you asked for buffs. And
press 1.
She's already the best.
I mean,
one of the best cats in the game.
Bam! Scenarios, but not in every scenario. So that's what
exactly, dude. Any character where you feel like you go bam. It's great.
Whatever.
Okay. Right. After Nike,
she just has like a dead ability in her too.
Oh yeah. She just sits there and does nothing.
35 to 115. It's gonna be 40 to 120. So.
Like, I feel like the 2 should just be like she should have a different 2, and her 2 just applies area ability, and then she'd be chilling. But
he's kind of the opposite case of Nike.
Right.
Most people think he's OP, but he's actually very low performance. So we finally saw towards the end of Season 5 his popularity and his prioritization finally drop down a little bit for other mages.
I can hear a happy Psyhos in my ear right now.
See, I don't get this. Like, why do they buff base damage? Like, this ability has been performing really well. I feel like when Thoth struggles is when maybe like cooldown reduce on the dash would probably be too OP, but I don't feel like he needs more damage.
He didn't need change, I don't think. He's just a late game, like he's a late game mage, and it was an early game meta. There's a new meta coming out.
Exactly. I mean, I think he could have seen play when Energy had like a full pressure draft and they put Discordia in there. I feel like they could have just had Thoth as well. It would have been fine.
Yep.
So it's still playable.
Zeros would have played it if he was at Worlds.
Yeah.
That actually doesn't matter, because it's 20% in his defensive stance, and you're not gonna have. It's gonna be like 2 more damage or something.
It's not even close to the ult here where he double for the first target. It's like I'm actually fine with that.
Yeah.
I might as well. I'm gonna build power tier. Don't care.
Yeah, let's go.
Try and get a lot. If you go really good, if you get 100 power, it's 20 more damage. You know.
I mean, just consider if you're actually playing solo, right? And you do like power boots, you do. Oh, you don't even have Bluestone anymore. The new warrior solo item doesn't even have power, right? So you have power boots and Masamune maybe if you want to go like power. That's like what, like a 10-20 heal at the end.
That feels good, man. ×3. What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
that hot 45 heal up.
This doesn't get you anywhere. This buff.
All right, I'm gonna let's talk about this real fast. Hayzer, what was your favorite thing about this patch? Is there anything where like yes?
Fafnir getting nerfed.
Yeah, that's something.
Boring god. Trash god.
Good nerf.
Hate him.
Good nerf.
I don't really care as long as he gets nerfed into the ground until he's unplayable. Then I'll be happy.
Yeah. All right, Hamish.
So I think you should have another one. Another nerf, please.
Yep. Hamish.
My favorite change.
Yeah.
The new what's it called? The support thing. Midas. Everyone should have MP5. Golden 5, that's the one.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Alright.
Blessings, there you go.
Yeah. Duke, do you have anything in particular you're looking like really forward to? Trying out and stuff?
I have 2 things actually. I think the new starter, whatever they're called now.
Blessings, yeah.
Yeah, they're really interesting. I don't know. I think they will be completely broken in the beginning, or some of them will. But I think it's just interesting to see like completely new starts for everyone that work differently and everything. So that's gonna be cool. As funny as this is, I really want to like see what happens to Talaria, because it could like, it's this kind of thing where it's like it could either go very wrong in a way where everyone builds it or no one builds it. But either way, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, Dimi, anything?
Personally, a big fan of all the mage buffs. I think it's just a really big step towards the right direction, and I am very happy that Death Toll is not a thing anymore for auto attack warriors, which makes it all a lot more fun. And I feel like we might actually see people start with tier 2 items as well, seeing how, I mean, the starters, like the best things, they're good, right? But maybe you can skip out on them for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just curious how all the starts are going to go, and that's what's keeping me excited here.
Yep. All right, well, that's pretty much it. I've promised to ask you guys for if anyone want to go a bit sell out on your socials. So Dimi, is there anywhere where people can find you? Just your Twitter,
you can
Twitch, or
find me on Twitter, twitter.com/Dimi_esports, as far as I'm concerned. And you can also follow me on Hi-Res TV, Kappa. You can follow me on Ninja Dimi on Twitch, and then, yeah, you can find me there.
And Dukesloth?
Yeah, Twitch TV/Dukesloth, YouTube.com/Dukesloth, or Twitter.com/Dukesloth TV.
Oh wow, okay, so it's
thanks
TV
to that
there.
one guy who hugs my boy. Ads on Twitter.
Oh no. Yeah, I have to say, man. Hamish?
Are we really doing this? I mean, I'm just Hamish in chat, and on Twitter I'm Hamish_SB.
He's the big Hamish, the big well-known. So if you guys, Hamish, everyone who doesn't know, he's like the numbers guy. He's the one that helps me out a lot with my document. Also a good friend of mine. So thank you as well for being on. And Hayzer, do you have any sellout, or are you just completely gone?
I'm not much of a sellout, you know.
You are a big sellout.
If you don't already follow me, then it's your mistake. So you can find it if you look.
So Hayzer follow on Twitch, right? Obey Hayzer on Twitter.
You can find Hayzer at /Yamin on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm twitter.com/FrezzyGG. I'll see you guys there. I tweet a lot.
I wanted to thank you guys so much for participating. It was fun having you around to talk about all the changes. So yeah, if there's any last shoutouts or anything, now is the time. If there's anything you haven't said that you really want to say.
I really want to shout out Niels. He's pretty cool, but little Niels.
Oh.
I respect that. I'm going to spam the patch notes in chat, by the way.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. Thank you guys so much for following and watching this. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, follow all these videos. Follow me. Check the patch notes. And until next time, I'll see you all. Peace out.